We all remember Jack Traven's desperate leap onto bus 2525 to save 20 innocent lives from a madman. But when the cameras stopped rolling, a real-life curse began. While one lead star's world shattered in a brutal national cheating scandal, their partner was silently burying a child and the love of their life. This is the truth that Hollywood tried to hide. Dennis Hopper as Howard Payne. Dennis Hopper was born on May 17, 1936, in Dodge City, Kansas, USA. At 58 years old, he played Howard Payne, the cold and calculating mastermind behind the bus bombings in Speed. His terrifyingly controlled performance elevated the film's tension, turning the antagonist into one of the most memorable action villains of the 1990s. His life off-screen was as intense and chaotic as the characters he often portrayed. Hopper went through 5 marriages, including unions with Brooke Hayward, Michelle Phillips, Daria Halprin, Catherine Lanassa, and finally Victoria Duffy, each ending in emotional or legal conflict. His personal relationships were frequently unstable, reflecting a turbulent private life that stood in contrast to his artistic success. Despite acclaimed films like Easy Rider, Blue Velvet, and True Romance, his career was often interrupted by struggles with substance abuse and personal breakdowns. For much of his life, Hopper battled severe drug and alcohol addiction, especially during the 1970s and early 1980s, which nearly destroyed his Hollywood career. Over time, he reinvented himself with powerful supporting roles in films such as Apocalypse Now, Rumble Fish, Hoosiers, and later Speed. However, his health began to deteriorate in his final years when he was diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer, which later spread to his bones, leaving him too weak for chemotherapy and significantly reducing his physical condition. Dennis Hopper passed away on May 29, 2010, at the age of 74 in Venice, Los Angeles, due to complications from prostate cancer. His net worth was estimated at around $40 million at the time of his death. He was laid to rest in Ranchos de Taos, New Mexico, in a quiet funeral attended by family and close friends. Even after his passing, his legacy endured as one of Hollywood's most influential and rebellious figures. Sandra Bullock as Annie Porter. Sandra Bullock was born on July 26, 1964, in Arlington, Virginia, USA. At 30 years old, she played Annie Porter, the courageous civilian forced to drive a speeding, bomb-rigged bus in Speed. Her performance added emotional depth and relatability to the film, helping transform it into one of the most iconic action thrillers of its era and launching her into global stardom. Her rise in Hollywood continued with major successes such as Miss Congeniality, Gravity, Bird Box, and The Blind Side, but her personal life was marked by emotional turbulence. She was married to Jesse James in 2005, but their marriage ended in 2010 after public revelations of infidelity, a painful moment that came shortly after she won an Academy Award. This sudden collapse of her marriage forced her into a period of emotional retreat, during which she focused on rebuilding her life as a single mother, and later expanded her family through adoption. Later, she found long-term stability with photographer Brian Randall, though tragedy struck again when he passed away in 2023 after a battle with ALS. Over the years, she also endured repeated stalking incidents that made privacy and security a constant concern, shaping her decision to live a more guarded and private lifestyle. Despite these challenges, she remained one of Hollywood's most respected actresses, balancing success with resilience. As of 2026, Sandra Bullock is 62 years old and has stepped back from frequent acting roles, choosing to focus primarily on her children and selective film projects. With an estimated net worth of around $250 million, she remains one of the most influential actresses of her generation. Keanu Reeves as Jack Traven. Keanu Reeves was born on September 2, 1964, in Beirut, Lebanon. At 30 years old, he played Jack Traven, the determined LAPD officer in Speed. His role carried the emotional tension of the entire film, turning a high-concept action story into a global phenomenon that defined 90s cinema and established him as a leading Hollywood action star. His personal life, however, unfolded with a series of profound tragedies that deeply shaped who he became. He was never formally married to Jennifer Syme, but their relationship was serious and emotionally significant, especially after the heartbreaking loss of their stillborn daughter. Not long after, Jennifer died in a car accident in 2001, leaving Reeves devastated. These losses were compounded by earlier grief, including the death of close friend River Phoenix, and together they pushed him into a quieter, more withdrawn way of living, despite his rising fame in films like The Matrix and John Wick. Health-wise, Reeves has faced several physical challenges, including motorcycle accidents that required long recovery periods, though he eventually returned to acting at full strength. Rather than slowing him down, these experiences seemed to deepen his reflective nature, influencing the calm, grounded persona he is known for today. Even as his career expanded across major franchises, he consistently avoided excess and maintained a disciplined, low-profile lifestyle. As of 2026, Keanu Reeves is 62 years old and remains active in Hollywood, continuing work on major film projects, including the John Wick universe and other international productions. With an estimated net worth of around $380 million, he is also widely recognized for his quiet philanthropy and humble lifestyle. He currently lives a private life with artist Alexandra Grant, choosing stability and simplicity over Hollywood excess. Jeff Daniels as Harry Temple. Jeffrey Warren Daniels was born on February 19, 1955, in Athens, Georgia, USA. At 39 years old, he played Harry Temple, the calm and grounded detective partner in Speed, 1994. His character provided balance and emotional stability within the high-stakes action narrative, helping to humanize the story and support the intense pacing of the film's central crisis. Outside of Speed, Daniels built a highly respected and versatile career across both film and television. He became widely known for comedic success in Dumb and Dumber, while also earning critical acclaim in dramatic roles such as The Newsroom, for which he won Emmy Awards. His work in films like The Squid and the Whale, Pleasantville, The Martian, and Good Night and Good Luck showcased his ability to move effortlessly between comedy and serious drama, making him one of the most adaptable actors of his generation. Unlike many Hollywood stories marked by instability, Daniels' personal life has remained remarkably steady. He married his high school sweetheart, Kathleen Rosemary Triado, in 1979, and their marriage has lasted for more than 4 decades. Together, they raised 3 children while choosing to live outside the Hollywood spotlight. Rather than relocating permanently to Los Angeles, Daniels settled in Chelsea, Michigan, prioritizing family life and privacy over industry pressure. As of 2026, Jeff Daniels is 71 years old and continues to work steadily in both television and stage productions, including projects like Shrinking and various theatrical performances. With an estimated net worth of around $45 million, he is recognized not only for his acting success, but also for his grounded lifestyle and long-lasting marriage. Joe Morton as Captain McMahon. Joe Morton was born on October 18, 1947, in Harlem, New York City, USA. At 47 years old, he played Captain McMahon, the disciplined and authoritative law enforcement figure in Speed, 1994. His performance added structure and tension to the film's escalating crisis, reinforcing the high-stakes pressure that defined the movie's relentless pacing. Behind his steady screen presence was a long and respected career across film, television, and theater. Morton became widely known for roles in Terminator 2, Judgment Day, as Dr. Miles Bennett Dyson, and later achieved major acclaim as Rowan Pope in the hit series Scandal, a performance that earned him an Emmy Award. His career also includes a wide range of notable films such as Ali, American Gangster, and Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, showing his ability to move between blockbuster cinema and character-driven drama with ease. Despite his professional success, Morton faced significant challenges in Hollywood as a black actor in an earlier generation. He has openly spoken about the pressure of being typecast into limited roles and the need to constantly prove his versatility in an industry that often offered narrow opportunities. In addition to acting, he also built a strong reputation in theater, including Broadway performances and award-nominated stage work, which helped solidify his artistic credibility beyond film and television. As of 2026, Joe Morton is 78 years old and remains active in the entertainment industry with selective roles in television and streaming projects, while also contributing as a director and mentor. With an estimated net worth of around $4 million, he is respected for both his longevity and his artistic integrity. Glenn Plummer as Jaguar owner. Glenn E. Plummer was born on August 18, 1961, in Richmond, California, USA. At 33 years old, he played the Jaguar owner, the frustrated and unlucky driver whose luxury car becomes part of the chaos in Speed, 1994. Although a brief role, his appearance helped reinforce the unpredictable scale of panic spreading across Los Angeles, adding realism to the film's escalating tension. Outside of Speed, Plummer built a steady career as a strong supporting actor across film and television. He became widely recognized for roles in South Central, Menace II Society, Showgirls, and later Sons of Anarchy. Known for portraying complex streetwise or emotionally intense characters, he became a familiar face in 1990s and 2000s Hollywood, often contributing powerful energy even in smaller roles. However, much of his career remained within supporting parts, limiting his mainstream breakthrough despite consistent work. His personal life faced significant turbulence, especially in his marriage to singer DeMonica Santiago, which ended in divorce in 2014 after years of conflict. The separation brought emotional strain and financial difficulties, along with custody disputes over their children. Like many character actors in Hollywood, Plummer's career stability often fluctuated, and he had to continue working across smaller projects and independent films to maintain his livelihood, despite moments of recognition in mainstream productions. As of 2026, Glenn Plummer is 64 years old and continues to appear in independent films and smaller television productions, including projects such as Bikers vs. Werewolves and various streaming dramas. With an estimated net worth of around $800,000, he remains active in the industry, though no longer in major Hollywood spotlight. Alan Ruck as Stevens. Alan Douglas Ruck was born on July 1, 1956, in Cleveland, Ohio, USA. At 38 years old, he played Stevens, a supporting passenger caught in the chaos of the explosive bus crisis in Speed, 1994. Though a smaller role, his presence contributed to the film's ensemble tension, helping amplify the realism and unpredictability of the unfolding disaster. Ruck built a diverse career long before and after Speed, becoming widely known for his role as Cameron Fry in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and later achieving renewed fame as Connor Roy in the critically acclaimed series Succession. His filmography includes major titles such as Twister, Star Trek Generations, and Young Guns 2, showing his steady presence across both comedy and high-profile drama. His career resurgence in Succession brought him renewed recognition, awards attention, and a new generation of audiences. His personal life has been marked by both stability and serious health challenges. He was married to Claudia Stephanie from 1984 until 2005, and together they had 2 children. In 2008, he married actress Mireille Enos, and the couple later welcomed 2 more children. Despite his steady family life, Ruck faced a life-threatening health scare in 2001 when he suffered severe sepsis, requiring a long recovery period. Years later, in 2023, he was involved in a serious car accident in Los Angeles, which once again tested his resilience. As of 2026, Alan Ruck is 69 years old and continues to work actively in film and television, balancing new projects with his established legacy in Hollywood. With an estimated net worth of around $12 million, he remains a respected character actor known for his versatility and longevity. Beth Grant as Helen. Beth Grant was born on the 18th of September 1949 in Gadsden, Alabama, USA. At 45 years old, she played Helen, a supporting passenger in Speed, 1994, who helped ground the film's chaotic bus sequence with her realistic, everyday presence. Though a minor role, her performance added texture and humanity to the ensemble of terrified civilians caught in the unfolding disaster. Beth Grant built an exceptionally long and respected career as a character actress in both film and television. She appeared in major films such as Rain Man, Donnie Darko, Little Miss Sunshine, No Country for Old Men, and The Artist, often portraying eccentric but memorable supporting roles. On television, she became a familiar face through appearances in The Mindy Project, Pushing Daisies, Jericho, and numerous other series, earning a reputation as one of Hollywood's most reliable and versatile supporting actresses. Her personal life has remained stable and far removed from scandal, centered around her long marriage to actor Michael Chifo, whom she wed in the mid-1980s. Together, they built a quiet family life in Los Angeles, raising their daughter, actress Mary Chifo. Unlike many Hollywood figures, Grant has maintained a grounded lifestyle, consistently balancing her acting career with family and creative projects, including writing and theater development work. As of 2026, Beth Grant is 76 years old and remains active in television and film, continuing to appear in projects such as Mayfair Witches, Dollface, and other recent productions. With an estimated net worth of around $2 million, she is respected as a veteran character actress with an enduring presence in Hollywood. Hawthorne James as Sam. Hawthorne James was born on May 1st, 1949 in Chicago, Illinois, USA. At 45 years old, he played Sam, the calm but visibly stressed bus driver in Speed, 1994. His role may seem simple at first, but in the middle of panic and explosions, Sam becomes the steady hand holding everything together, giving the bus scenes a grounded human tension that makes the danger feel real. Outside of Speed, Hawthorne James built his career through theater, teaching, and character acting rather than Hollywood stardom. He was married to Doris, and although he keeps his personal life private, much of his time has been dedicated to acting education and stage work. Over the years, he appeared in films like The Five Heartbeats, The Doors, and Seven, often playing authoritative or grounded figures, while also working in independent theater projects that kept him closely connected to live performance. He never fully stepped away from acting, but instead shifted between screen and stage, choosing projects that allowed him more creative control and community involvement. Alongside Speed, he continued to appear in productions such as NYPD Blue and Frasier, maintaining a steady but understated presence in Hollywood. Rather than chasing fame, his career remained focused on consistency, mentorship, and storytelling through performance. As of 2026, Hawthorne James is 77 years old and still occasionally active in acting, theater, and community-based programs. With an estimated net worth of around $1.5 million, he continues to live a modest and grounded life. Carlos Carrasco as Ortiz. Carlos Carrasco was born on April 5th in Panama City, Panama. At 46 years old, he played Ortiz, one of the frightened passengers trapped inside the runaway bus in Speed, 1994. His role added realism to the chaos, showing how ordinary people react when survival suddenly depends on strangers working together under extreme pressure. His journey in acting began after moving from Panama to the United States on a scholarship, where he studied theater and performance before building a steady career in film and television. He appeared in productions such as Crocodile Dundee 2, The Fisher King, and Blood In, Blood Out, along with TV series like ER, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and Parks and Recreation. These roles helped him build a reputation as a reliable and versatile supporting actor across different genres. Throughout his career, Carrasco often balanced acting with directing and producing, expanding his work beyond the screen. He remained active in theater communities and continued contributing to projects that supported Latino representation in the entertainment industry. His career never followed a typical Hollywood rise, but instead developed steadily through consistent supporting roles in both mainstream and independent productions. As of 2026, Carlos Carrasco is 78 years old and still appears occasionally in film and television while focusing on cultural and creative projects behind the scenes. With an estimated net worth of around $1 million, he continues to maintain a quiet professional life. Today, he remains connected to acting through selective roles and artistic collaborations, while dedicating more time to mentorship and supporting emerging voices in film and theater. David Creel as Terry. David Creel was born on October 1, 1968, in New York City, New York, USA. At around 26 years old, he played Terry, a supporting passenger in Speed, 1994. His role may have been small, but it contributed to the film's grounded sense of realism, showing how everyday people were suddenly thrown into a situation where survival depended on panic, instinct, and strangers working together. His acting career began at a very young age, with theater training starting when he was just 12 years old. After graduating high school, he studied at the Juilliard School before moving into television and film work. Early in his career, he appeared in 21 Jump Street, and later took roles in films such as Alive and Leaving Las Vegas, where he continued building a reputation as a young character actor. Alongside Speed, he also appeared in The Accidental Detective and Quest of the Delta Knights, often taking supporting roles that kept him closely tied to ensemble storytelling rather than leading stardom. As his career developed, Creel gradually stepped away from acting and moved toward creative work outside Hollywood. Instead of continuing in film and television, he focused on building a more stable, family-oriented life, eventually shifting into education and business. Together with his wife, Amy, he co-founded a children's dance studio in Studio City, Los Angeles, which became his main professional focus after leaving the entertainment industry. This transition reflected a move from performance to mentorship and community development. As of 2026, David Creel is 57 years old and no longer active in film or television, having fully retired from acting. With an estimated net worth of around $300,000, he now focuses on running his creative children's studio and family life. Richard Lineback as Norwood. Richard Lineback was born on February 4, 1952, in Frankfurt, Germany. At 42 years old, he played Norwood, one of the terrified passengers caught inside the exploding bus in Speed, 1994. His brief appearance still added weight to the chaos, helping the audience feel how unpredictable and fragile every life on that bus truly was. His career developed steadily through both theater and screen work, where he often took on grounded everyman roles. He built a strong reputation on stage with performances in The Grapes of Wrath, The Diviners, and Mr. Roberts, while also expanding into film and television. Alongside Speed, he appeared in Twister, Varsity Blues, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, and The Jackal, as well as TV roles in Star Trek The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, often portraying ordinary men placed in extraordinary circumstances that quickly spiral out of control. Rather than chasing fame, Lineback's career remained rooted in steady character work, shifting naturally between stage productions and supporting screen roles. Over time, he gradually stepped back from larger Hollywood productions, focusing more on selective appearances and quieter professional commitments. As of 2026, Richard Lineback is 74 years old and has largely moved away from mainstream acting, occasionally appearing in smaller independent or theater-related projects. With an estimated net worth of around $500,000, he lives a quiet life in Los Angeles. Today, he is remembered as a dependable character actor whose career was built on long-term consistency, stage discipline, and steady supporting roles across decades. Daniel Villarreal as Ray. Daniel Villarreal was born on November 19, 1960, in the United States. At around 34 years old, he played Ray, a minor passenger caught in the chaos of Speed, 1994. Though his role was small, it contributed to the film's realism, filling out the group of ordinary people suddenly thrown into an extreme life-or-death situation. He began his career working behind the scenes in Hollywood before gradually moving into acting roles, starting with projects like Stand and Deliver, where he gained early experience on set. He later appeared in American Me and continued working in smaller film and television projects, often balancing acting with writing and production work. His path reflected a focus on practical industry experience, rather than mainstream stardom, building a career through participation in modest but meaningful productions. Over the years, Villarreal continued to explore creative work through independent and local projects, sometimes contributing as a writer or producer on smaller films. His career remained closely tied to artistic development rather than commercial visibility, with appearances in various low-budget productions that allowed him to maintain creative control and involvement in storytelling at a more personal level. As of 2026, Daniel Villarreal is 66 years old and remains largely outside major Hollywood activity, occasionally contributing to independent projects and small creative collaborations. With an estimated net worth of around $300,000, he leads a quiet life focused on selective artistic work. That's the journey of the Speed 1994 cast, then and now. From explosive action on a runaway bus to decades of very different personal and professional paths, each of them has lived a story far beyond the screen. So what surprised you the most about how the Speed cast has changed over the years? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more then and now stories like this.